All right, everybody. With me now, she is a pop and rock superstar out of California. Libba, how you doing?
Hey everyone, good. How are you today, Sean?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for doing this.
Of course, happy to be on here. Thank you for asking me.
So this is two in a row. The last artist I talked to is also California. But she was from South Carolina originally. So are you born and raised California? Talk about your journey
Born and
starting out.
raised San Francisco. Um, Ever since, yeah, born 1997. The only time I lived out of the state was Nashville, Tennessee, which I'm currently in right now. I'm just here for a, 2 more weeks doing a songwriting retreat, all that stuff.
So you're in
And
Nashville currently.
yeah, currently right now I'm in Nashville. So I'm doing
Yeah.
a bunch of networking. I have some cool writers rounds coming up in the next few days, and then I'm off to Nunnally, Tennessee, which is about an hour, I think, south. I'm not quite sure of the geography of Tennessee,
Just Google
but
it, it's not like
yeah,
it's not the 90s anymore where you had to like print out a
exactly.
map.
Yeah, and like try to look at the map while like watching the road,
Yeah,
all
I
that
remember.
stuff.
Yeah, I remember that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
so just Google it and whatever. No, I was gonna say, I'll just say it.
hmm
Driving isn't the best nowadays in America. Well, anywhere really. So
No, no matter where you go, don't
make
let
sure
anybody
make sure
fool you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like, yeah, so that's cool. That's cool. Um, have you noticed like the stark differences between like cultures? Like even if you haven't been there that long, like, can you tell the difference like how people are from Nashville to San Francisco?
Oh yeah, I mean it's definitely more of the middle 20s age range, middle to late 20s age range, going out wise. Still definitely people of all age groups, but definitely going out wise and seeing the young people go out and like have the grind that they have is definitely in Nashville. There's so much to do every single night, Monday through Sunday. And people are just so friendly. Like I walk around my little neighborhood here and there's like families walking or just people walking with their dogs and they're just like, "Hi, morning," or just like, "Hey, how's it going?" So people are super kind. And with San Francisco, people are very nice, but it's a little bit more reserved these days from when I grew up. Post pandemic, a lot of people moved out of San Francisco and out of California in general. And so it's been actually funny. I've been here for a few weeks and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm from California." And they're like, "Oh, I'm from California." So I've run into that a lot too, which has been funny
You think it's financial reason why people left?
for sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's so much construction here, and some of the people that have lived here for 4 or 5 years or maybe longer, maybe even shorter, they're like, "Yeah, it's changed a lot and like prices are going up here." That not even in Tennessee and Nashville alone, like very much a lot of the South. I heard South Carolina is going up in prices, and people are like, "What? It's not as affordable
So
as I thought to live here."
I'm in small town Florida, so if I tell
Mm-hmm.
you how much my apartment is, you'll be you won't be you'll
My
be like,
jaw will
"What?
probably
I'll be
drop
there
to
in
the
I'll
floor.
Do you want me to tell you or no? Two bedroom, one bath, which is kind of weird. Um 885, and that's with the pet. I told you.
Wow. I don't know if you can get that anywhere. I mean, wow, that's
And it's
insane.
900 square feet.
Wow. Hold on to that
But
place.
it's
That's
also it's also
crazy.
I've been that's why I've been here like 5 years. And like
Yeah,
every time there's a hurricane, if this is every year, uh the owner lease uses the company to lease it. Like
got it.
so it's some like old dude, and he shows up like every time there's this like every once a year just to check in, make sure that his place is still there. And he's
Oh
like,
my
"Oh, you're still
gosh.
here." I'm like, "Yeah, man, bet." Like,
Yeah.
you look at the
I'm not going anywhere.
I'll be here. until I find a significant like other to move me out of here,
For sure.
I'm staying put, why these social norms. I could go on a diatribe, but this isn't about social norms or I mean, I bet we can talk about coffee though, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's social norm. Coffee's everywhere in California.
Everywhere.
Well,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
All the trendy little spots and all that fun stuff.
yeah. All
Yeah.
right, so
It's
let's go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say there was the only thing that's different about California as compared to this side of the country, the weather is just crazy. It's only dry heat over there, especially in San Francisco. It's barely hot. LA and like SoCal land, that's the hotter side of
Just come
California,
over to
but
Florida and you'll see the
yeah,
humidity. So take
oof.
dry heat.
Yeah. I've walked around here in Nashville and I'm just like, I can't stand this humidity.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Florida's another level.
Yeah,
So
I heard.
yeah. Oh, you haven't been to Florida?
I The only time I've been to Florida twice,
Disney? Can I
Disney
take a
World,
guess?
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Disney World when I was 16, that was where I went for like my 16th birthday. And recently, over the past, I
Good
think it
old
was,
American dream, Disney.
yeah, right, yeah. And I did go to Florida. I think that was January or something of this year, but it was still pretty, maybe it wasn't January.
Yeah,
Regardless, I went a few months ago and it was like still very hot.
there's nothing more American than Disney World or land.
Yeah. Oh
Like,
yeah.
if
It's
foreigners come
like
over here and
people
they'll be like,
fly
"What's America
everywhere.
like?" Go to
Yeah.
Disney, bro, and
Yeah.
then you'll see overpriced food. Kids on sugar highs. I mean,
You gotta be
yeah,
patient with the lines and the strollers.
yeah. Have you
Yeah.
been to? Well, there's Disneyland, right?
Oh yeah.
Where's
Oh
that?
yeah.
Where's that out in California? Is it?
It's in technically Anaheim, California, which is Orange County, more than
You
central
ever go that
LA.
way? Like Anaheim? Do you ever go that way?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I used to go to Disney, especially when I was a kid, and it was easier flight wise. Weren't like over $100 to like hop on a plane and stuff like that. I've been to Disneyland a good amount of times before they started really ranking up the prices of, oh, Mickey Pass and like all this other type of stuff. My friends tell me, and I'm just like, I'm good. I don't want to spend like a trip to Paris amount on Disneyland. I'm okay.
Well, Paris is apropos with the Olympics.
Yeah,
So
well, yeah, I don't want to be there right now, but yes, other than the
it
Olympic
was funny.
times.
I was watching the Olympics this morning and like there was like three or four wipeouts because they're doing the cycling trials. And
Oh,
the cycling, they don't stop for anybody.
oh
There's rain.
no.
They'll be all right. They'll be all right.
Yeah,
They're doing if they can do the Tour de France, they can do
that's right. Yeah,
Paris.
that's right.
So that's funny. So all right, so let's get to the main subject at hand.
Hmm.
Music. So that's interesting. Pop and rock. Was that always the case? Like even when you first started, were you always into like pop music and did it just transfer to rock or
Pretty much like I grew up with so many different genres of music. Linda Ronstadt, Pat Benatar, and also some like very much a lot of ABBA. And my dad loved ABBA, and so but also there was like Britney and Christina Aguilera, and like, you know, just so many different styles of pop music and or rock that were very big and up and coming as I was growing up. But the base of what I wanted to do with music was musical theater, funny enough. And Wicked had just been this big explosion. And my sister, I'm the youngest of three. So my oldest sister, she had the CD. And so when she was done with it, I would take it and I would just listen. And I was like, wow, like I'm so moved by like the music in this, and just would listen to the soundtrack nonstop and taught myself how to sing through just listening to that album. And along the way I did church choirs, all that type of stuff growing up. And but I really found a love of musical theater through like lyrics and how the melodies are, but also how in depth lyrically it can touch people, and not only myself but other people. And me performing musical theater, I saw how it moved other people in the audience. And
Right.
so I was like, okay, maybe I want to do musical theater, but I also do love pop and rock and like just all different types of genres of music. And eventually I started songwriting at the age of 18. Um, very just people would give me notebooks and I'd just write, write, write. And I did a songwriting course at Berklee College of Music, I think when I was 19 or 20. And that
Berkeley.
like
Wow.
changed, and that changed my life. Like it was so eye-opening of like just write whatever comes to you, like co-write, pretend you're
Mm.
writing for an artist, like write about an object, and like kind of the world's your oyster. And when it comes to writing, and it's yours, like you can
I
release it
mean,
if
at
you want, but you
18, that's
can,
the case anyways.
yeah, yeah. So it was just such a great outlet. And then so in 2020 I moved to Nashville, Tennessee, to right after I
Pursue.
graduated my 4-year college program,
I hear that
and
a
to go
lot.
like,
I moved to
yeah,
Tennessee. I moved to Nashville. I moved to
yeah,
Nashville.
yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna do this thing, and I went to Blackbird Academy for audio recording studio engineering as well, because I always had that love of knowing the back of house side of music and everything like that, and how it all works. And sadly, as we all know, in 2020, the pandemic happened. So the rug was kind of ripped underneath my feet as far as really getting to know a lot of the land. And I was like, I'm just gonna go back home until like the world kind of settles itself out. So I went back home, and then if I didn't do that, I think about it a lot now and where I am now. But if I didn't do that, then I wouldn't be the person I am today, and like be knowing my sound and developing myself as an artist. I met my awesome band members that I hit the road with for the past
Mm.
3 years. Like we grew as a full band, but also like individually as artists and
Yeah,
musicians.
get
And
like 5,000 views on YouTube.
yeah,
Would you get that still? I
yeah,
mean,
exactly.
probably, right? But
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it was just
I
such
like how
an
humble you
awesome,
are about that too. It's just
yeah.
like silhouette and it's just like
Just it is what it
5,000.
is. It's fine. But yeah, so I then
By the way, that's no
as
joke. 5,000 views on a song. That's no joke.
thank you. Yeah, I try not to look at numbers. Like I try to just be like in the moment, and I'm just like, here I am releasing this song. Like I'm the worst advocate for myself, is like, listen, listen, listen. Like I'm just like, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, like, then move
Yeah, but
on. I don't know.
sometimes if
Like
you don't toot your own horn, no one is. Like that's just how,
ex
and that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate about society. But
yeah.
like you were mentioning earlier, um, people are just so lazy, but laser focused.
Hmm.
And I didn't mean it like you're not talented, so people aren't going to toot your horn. But what I'm saying is sometimes being selfish is kind of a good thing in this industry, especially with so many people. Like there's so many people that are trying to do the same thing you are, and sometimes it's one thing that'll you'll be in the right place at the right time or whatever.
Exactly.
And I hear that a lot about um people like, yeah, I'm doing good, but this, and then they find something or you know what I mean, or someone sees
Hmm.
them, or they get a call from American Idol, or they get a call from such and
Hmm.
such, and then it's like bam, they're on TV.
Yeah. It's just you, and I tell many artists that I've met along the way and people to come, like, you just do the effort. Like it's not gonna come in a blink of an eye. Like as the world sees it, it's kind of like that, like, oh wow, they like blew up overnight. But really, it takes a lot of years, a lot of
That's why I
experience that like,
chuckle when I watch the Voice and stuff like that. I
oh,
chuckle at the comments.
absolutely. Oh yeah.
especially because they auditioned 3 times before they're even on fucking sorry the
This
language that much.
no, you're
But
totally fine.
no, like especially because they introduce or like they're introduced to the people because I assume the same audience goes back all weekend or whatever. Like
Oh
they just
yeah.
throw random people, you know, seat fillers. Sounds kind of
Oh,
mean,
for
but
sure. No, yeah.
and it's
I
like,
mean,
oh,
yeah.
I didn't expect that. I'm like, dude, what were you expecting? You heard him yesterday. Like,
Yeah, right? Yeah. It's just like, yeah, that's a thing.
that's
Yeah.
funny.
So, but yeah, and I eventually, when we started doing our full band shows, whether it was cover gigs or our own original music, it was like I just love the instrumentation of rock and like the powerhouse vocals it brings to the table and how the audience feels with it too. Like you just see, a guitar riff and people are like, fuck yeah, and like, or the drums going, or like the
It's like
bass
this,
hits.
you know.
Yeah, it's just like awesome. Like it's like you just feel
I feel
whenever
like this
I'm
is universal. I feel like this is
yeah, like
universal.
just you just feel fucking
Like good old
awesome. Like
Aussie, you
yeah,
know.
yeah, like it's you just feel like a rock star when you perform rock. Like in whether it's soft rock or like intense pop rock. Like you
Metal
just
or shit
feel,
like that.
I don't do metal, but like I've been to some of that and that's kind of crazy. Yeah. If I could get that like low grunging noise or whatever goes, that's a whole different
Or
ballpark
like
of
Janis Joplin, you
oh
know.
yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Iconic.
yeah. So yeah, definitely. Has your music changed much, like the tones since you when you first started to now? I understand like the difference between like 18 and I don't know, your mid 20s or whatever, but I'm just
Mhm.
saying I understand how the voice changes, but has like lyrically and has that
Oh
changed
yeah.
too?
Yeah, definitely through the past years and even right now while I'm writing again and doing that, I think more it just with life comes a lot of experiences that are thrown at you and you write about when I first started writing it was like, oh, like cute little things, like whatever. But now even in my album I just released about a year ago, it talks about a lot of like the
We're gonna talk
unexpectancies.
about that. We're gonna
Yeah,
talk about that
yeah.
album. We're gonna get there.
And it just I writing along the years, I sometimes look back on what I was writing about 18 years ago, and it was like, oh, like, I, about feelings, about like, oh, how I feel about this boy, or like whatever. But now, looking at my life now and how I write and everything, it can be about a situation with a friend I had, or about family matters, or about me personally growing and hoping that I went through this hard thing or this change of life and I'm going to write about it because maybe somebody else is going
Is
through it
going through the
currently
same
and it
stuff.
can be that
An
type of
outlet.
word of mouth exactly and like oh I'm feeling that but I don't know how to express my emotions but that's the beauty of music at the end of the day like
But
we
that
listen
song
to
is
it
some way. But
yeah
that
exactly
yeah. And then they can put it to a reel or something, you know?
exactly and just like keep looping it I've done that just looped a song for hours that it's like I'm feeling pissed
You
off
gotta
so I'm
press the
just
you gotta
gonna
press the play button though, Libba. It
yeah
times out
yeah
after a while.
yeah
You gotta
that's
you gotta
true
repress you gotta press it again. I've d- like I'm a my dad's an engineer, so so I'm like weird when it comes to like wanting to know how things work.
for sure
Um yeah, so since you brought it up, actually before we get to the album, I
hmm
briefly mentioned Silhouette. Was that how old were you when you wrote that?
when I wrote
Like how long ago
Silhouette
was that?
I think that was 5 years ago 5 years ago I
Yeah.
wrote Silhouette and uh when I uh, that one is definitely one of my more sad like ballad based songs as the piano alone is very haunting and
Mhm.
that one was a really fun project with the music video and everything that was the only music video I've ever done and when I was first writing it, I was just in this spot of there. I had this situation with a guy, and it was it was kind of like a love bomb situation, but I was also in my young 20s, and I just got swept up away with his BS. And I thought at the end of the day we were just very close friends too, regardless of emotions or feelings. And I quickly, in 24 hours, my whole life kind of flipped upside down, and I really leaned on him. And then eventually he just acted as though we had never had this foundation of any type of relationship, of
Dang, I'm
friendship or
sorry to
anything.
hear that. That's crazy.
So, and it really, it affected me for a long time, because I put up a lot of walls, as people do, and
Yeah, you got
my
invested, and
trust.
then yeah, I've been there. It
Yeah.
happened to me.
And
It happened to me.
yeah,
So
it happens to, it happens to the best of us. And it sucks that it's the repercussions of like trust issues down the road and everything like that. And
I had
when I
someone break up
was,
with me after the day after my birthday.
that sucks.
So,
I'm sorry.
and I think that was strategy. So
Yeah. And yeah. And you can never, the worst, I think one of the worst things about those situations is at the end of the day, you just can't control that other person, and you can't control the whole situation. And it sucks when you want to. And when I started writing Silhouette and reminiscing about all the conversations I had with him and the situations we had, and
yeah.
I was just thinking about, I don't, when I was writing at the time, I was just like, I guess I was just your silhouette. I was just a figure of
Uh,
this
got
emotion
it.
you had. Like, I wasn't actually a person to you, I was just an
Makes
object.
sense.
And
Dang, that's
then,
deep.
yeah,
That's,
I got really deep. Yeah.
I don't even know if I would think about that. That's genius.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that's impressive.
So, and then I was in San Francisco at the time, so I was uh, watching as the fog kind of crept into the city at a point, and I was kind of doing this triad on the keys, and I was doing a minor triad, and I was like, ooh, I kind of like the hauntingness of it, because it visually to me that seems kind of like silhouette, black and white. That's it. And then when we recorded the record, all this type of stuff, everything came into place beautifully.
Hmm.
And I was volunteering my time at a visual and audio area in the city. And the when I was volunteering all this type of stuff, I was like, oh yeah, I just released the song, this, that. And they said, let's do a music video. And I was like, what? I was like, to me, I grew up with music videos, with VMAs and like top 10 countdown. So,
Video
and
Music Awards.
yeah, yeah. And like when MTV was huge with, I mean, the Britney music video, like I just was such a music video person and visual person growing up. So for
When it
me
was
to,
actually music television,
yeah,
now it's nothing
with
against
just
like
reality
reality TV,
television. I
like,
know.
the challenge and stuff like that. But I'm just saying,
I know.
I get where you're coming from. When you actually
Yeah.
had those, like, do you remember those like TRL and like
Yes. And like that's where people
Carson Daly
discovered,
and shit like
yeah.
that?
Yeah. And people actually like discovered new music through like watching that shit sometimes. And it was like that's how I found
To
Christina
be
Perri.
fair
I'm
though,
like,
NPR is doing Tiny Desk. That Tiny Desk
that's
kind of
true.
that
Yeah.
is just a
That does
different.
a lot for people. It's just different now. It's hard for us when we were like, damn, like we grew up in like an iconic time for like music and
Yeah,
that era, always.
yeah.
And so when I was given that opportunity of like, let's do a music video to one of your songs, I was like, that's gonna be a lot for me, because I'm just so visually invested in like this has to be this scene and this scene and this scene and this scene, and
And
like
it
I
costs
want it to
money,
look
right? And it
well.
costs
That
money.
too. That too.
Nothing's free. Nothing's
No.
free.
So and that project was so fun. All the people I got to work with for the music video, we went to several different locations. Like it was definitely one of the highlights of my career thus far, doing that music video.
Yeah. Well, it's very deep and it's a good song. Your vocals are like incredible.
Thank you.
Um, what's the before we talk about reflections,
Mhm.
what's you got a good story about like starting out in like your first couple of years? Did you play any dive bars? Like any good times you reminisce on?
Oh yeah. When the gates opened again after things were closed for a while in 2020 and things started opening back up in 2021, I love live performance. There's just always an itch to it. Like I'll perform in front of two people, I'll perform in front of 100. I don't care. Like I just love
Or
the
hopefully one
aspects.
day six
That
figures,
that's
a
right.
hundred
That's right.
thousand.
That's right. That's what we manifest out here. And I remember I was pretty much living in Sonoma County at the time, which is about an hour north of San Francisco.
Wine country, right? Isn't that
That
wine
yeah, yeah,
country?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's where they started doing a lot of live music because it was outdoors and there was a lot of space and people went there instead of in the city for summertime. So I would just drive around, I just drove, and anytime I saw a banner that said live music or whatever, I would just go
What?
in. I just went in and I was like, "Hi, I'm Libba." Like I haven't performed
Would
in
you have a business? Would you have a card or
oh
something?
yeah.
Or
Yeah. And I'd be like, "I'd love to perform here." Like I
here's my
totally
here's my
yeah.
contact
Yep.
information.
I would just cold
Hey,
call,
it's
show
Libba,
up.
literally and
Yep.
figuratively.
Yep. And then I would call, I would email, like I would not take no for an answer for a lot of them. So, and I would just be like, name any like, and of course out of the, you know, I just wanted the gig. So I was like, you can pay me shit. I don't just I want to perform.
Were you doing that shit for free?
Some of it I was doing for free or just tips, and that's
Dang,
it.
that's
I
crazy.
know. Yeah. So,
Oh,
and like
you were like a singing bartender, just doing it
for
for
mhm.
tips. That's
I
a
would
bad
just show
joke. You
up.
didn't have to laugh
Yeah,
at that.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
bad joke. You don't. You're like, yeah, that sucks, dude. But I'll laugh.
But at the end of the day, and I tell a lot of people now who ask me about it nowadays, and I'm just like, I just A wanted to perform, B saw it as great experience for me. Like with those experiences of me gigging so many times in different areas and doing 2 gigs a day, doing 4 gigs in a weekend, like you learn how to talk to the crowd. You learn like, okay, they're kind of feeling this type of sound more than this sound, or maybe I'm being a little too loud, or
Yeah,
you
because
just you
um,
learn.
the worst thing is no reaction. Like you want something.
Exactly. And it's like you got
Yeah,
to work with the crowd. Like we're all people. Like we have emotions, we have hearts, we have feelings. Like ask at a point like
we all
anybody
bleed the
celebrating
same.
anything.
We all bleed the same.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
not to
Yeah.
get gory or anything,
Not
not
to
to get
get
all
super
like, oh, this podcast music interview just turned into Scream.
yeah, right?
I'm kidding. But yeah, that's cool. So you
Yeah.
what's your most favorite what's your favorite bar you performed at? I'm not trying to put
I
you on the
would
spot and
no.
alienate, but
I would say my favorite dive bar that I've had a lot of times luckily performing at.
before you're big time now,
Yeah, yeah.
touring.
Was this place called Maggie McGarry's in San Francisco. My band members and I,
Was it
it's
cheap beer?
just, oh, it was, I didn't have to pay for anything, thank God. But yeah,
Well, I mean,
yeah, yeah, it's a cheap beer.
what's your drink of choice?
I'm very basic. I just love a good vodka soda.
You drink this stuff? Or I don't know if you can see. It's whiskey.
Oh, I don't drink whiskey, but I'll
I
drink
got the
tequila.
blur
Like, yeah,
filter
yeah.
on.
I'm like, I'm trying to figure out what you're drinking.
It's the blur.
I,
It's the
yeah,
blur.
yeah. Yeah, I just mostly do like tequila or vodka.
What about
Love
gin?
myself a good high noon. Gin, I'm not a fan of gin.
It's in the
Not a fan
vodka
of gin.
family.
I
It's in
know. I'm
the
just like, ugh.
they're
I
like
think,
cousins.
yeah, exactly. I'm like that cousin maybe sometimes, but I'm not like,
It's
yes,
like that
gin of
weird it's like that
choice.
weird cousin that tries to hit you up on like social
Yeah,
media all the time. You're like, dude, you're in a different state. Like, I'll check up
yeah.
on you at the reunion.
Eventually, yeah. We'll get together at some point. Just we're good.
It's like you're a one text person. That's it. That's
Yeah,
what I do
right?
with
Yeah.
my cousin. Like,
Yeah.
he's trying to like blow me up, like, oh, are you still seeing that person? I'm like, dude, that was like 5 years ago. Like,
Yeah, right?
no, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Sorry, I'll continue on with this bar.
Yeah. And it's so fun. Like it's mostly a gig, obviously, dive bar, but we get to play some of our originals. But the crowd there, it's you start at 10 p.m. and you go till 2 in the morning, and it's just the it's so fun. You're just up on the stage and like people are just you get to see people just like having the time of their lives on a Friday or Saturday night. And people just get so people that they've come with or people that they've never met before and people just like have a fucking amazing time and just have so much fun throughout the whole night. It's exhausting as to play
And
for
they're all
4 hours and
sober, I would
perform.
assume.
Oh yeah, 100% sober.
They would all pass the drug test too.
That's right, yeah.
Like, like the are you big into like EDM and like shit like that?
I mean, I my friend a good amount of my friends are and I've gone to some raves and stuff, but
Oh, dude, like everyone's on something,
yeah,
and
I'm
none of
just
it,
yeah.
and a lot of it's not legal, is what.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's very much okay, I'm the sober one here. I don't really do a
Yeah,
lot of
no, it's not just alcohol too.
yeah. No.
They'll
Oh
do
no,
like.
no, no. They do some crazy things and you're just like, "All right." No judgment, just not my thing.
I bet you're feeling good, you know.
Yeah, right? Like you're having the time of your life and that's good. As long as you're having the time of your life, okay, we're
And
good.
you're not in jail, then you know.
That's right. Yeah. Not causing issues, we're all okay.
But yeah, EDM's crazy. Like I went to one. Have you been to like a DJ night where you should see like no lyrics, just DJs? You should go to
Yeah.
like a DJ night. Those things are crazy.
Yeah, I've been wanting maybe soon I'll go to one, but I've always wanted to go to one of those DJ
But
nights. I just
I bet
haven't.
the EDM scene in Nashville is probably bigger than I think it is because it's music. You just
Yeah,
gotta find it. You just gotta find
exactly.
it.
There's somewhere, it's somewhere here. It's somewhere here.
I'm sure there is. EDM,
Yeah.
someone's gonna Google EDM Nashville and they'll find
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
All right, now to Reflections, which when did that release?
September of 2023, so almost a year ago.
What was the idea behind it? Was it just like a collection that you of songs you've had over the years and you're like, "Oh, well, just gonna put them all together," or was it like a vision before?
The vision pretty much came at the end of 2022 and beginning of 2023. I had been writing for 5 years and just had a collection of songs along the way. Some while in the process of recording the album, I was still writing songs to finish the album. But it was at the end of 2022 and I was at a point in my life where in my music career where I was like, okay, like I've gigged a lot, like and now I have this core group of band members that now we're like really tight. And I went away for my own little like songwriting retreat and I got a little Airbnb in like Scotts Valley near Santa Cruz
Oh,
Mountains.
wow, talk about money.
Yeah. I like saved
Dang.
up I worked like 3 jobs and I just saved up so much money to be like I'm investing this money into this
I
album
feel
and
like
into my
that's a song.
career.
You could turn that into a song, you know?
Mhm. Exactly. It might be in the works. And I when I went away to that little retreat for 3 days, I told pretty much everyone I was like I'm shutting off my phone for 3 days and I'm writing. And I loved every second that I did that I just stocked up my fridge and I would start playing keys at like 2 in the morning in my little cottage or I'd at noon I'd be inspired and write down these lyrics, and I think I wrote like 4 songs in those 3 days. And that really just opened up this, that pretty much started the opening of Reflections, the project, because I was in a very reflective point in my life.
Mm.
And I was like, I want to make an album about the journey that people that I've gone through in the past few years, slash, I'm sure people have had their own journeys, whether in the past few years or in their life. And
I've heard it all doing this podcast.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't want to tell you how many independent artists I've interviewed. It's a lot, and
yeah,
I've heard all the stories.
yeah. And music is just such a beautiful outlet, and I think we have to just keep reminding the world that like it's the first thing, the arts are the first thing to go, which is always so heartbreaking, but it's what people need at the end of the day. It's our own outlet to all of our emotions. It's a universal language. And when I after that retreat and I started thinking about this project of this album, I was like, I'm going to invest all this money and time, and I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. And funny enough, the starter song Happiness that starts off the album, when I first wrote that song, that was I think 3, 4 years ago that I wrote that song with my friend Stacy Kelleher, who lives in Nashville. And I when we wrote it, it was like, oh, like this is a nice song, whatever. And it was a toss away type of song to me. And eventually I came
Mm.
back to it and I was like, wow, I actually really love this song. And then gave it, I eventually recorded it and then gave it to my band members for us to start playing it live at shows. And then eventually started showing it to more people before the album dropped. And people were like, this song's fucking amazing. And I was just like, oh, and in the beginning, I was just like, it's a whatever song. But now it's like such a moving song for so many people, and I love performing it now. And
Yeah, you have a interesting delivery, and it's very kind of thought provoking. Like it's slow, but it's not like that slow, but it's also very melodic. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like you can actually
mm-hmm,
hear the and feel the emotions, and I like that sort of stuff, you know. So I just want to give you credit. I did listen to was it Social Media? Is that the one?
mm-hmm,
I did want to talk to you about that song.
yeah,
Um
I love that song.
can I guess the meaning and then you'll tell me if I'm off base or on base?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like a
for
little
sure.
baseball reference.
Yeah, yeah,
Um
yeah.
um it's basically saying like social media can be toxic and I don't really, and it's kind of affecting either a relationship or life, and it's easier just to get rid of it.
Yep,
Um, to yeah, there's positivity, but the negativity is outweighing it right now.
yep,
Did I nail it?
yep. You nailed it.
Oh, let's
You
go.
nailed it. Yeah, that one was definitely one of the most enjoyable writes I've ever done. When I was
You're not
thinking
a
of
big
that,
social media person?
I'm trying to be. That's my biggest struggle. I toss my phone after a while and I'm like, I'm
Hashtag
done with it.
Libba.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. And I was driving around San Francisco one day and I was thinking of, it was at a time, I think it was summer of 2022, and I was driving around the city and I saw all on my fucking page
City
on
as in
Instagram,
San Diego?
San Francisco.
Oh, San Francisco. Okay.
And I saw so many of my friends, it's very toxic. Like nobody posts the like sad shit. It's always like, "Oh, here I am happy and traveling," and I was working to death and not really happy in my own state, and I just see all my friends traveling or like having a great time, and I was like, I know that
Mm.
they're it's not always like this, but like I just hate this right now. I hate that I'm working and I'm not having a fun time and I don't get to do these things. It's just so it can be very toxic. And I've had this discussion with many of my friends, and they think that I'm having the time of my life. And I'm like, actually, I was pretty fucking miserable when I was posting around that time. But, nobody really shares that. And so I was driving around San Francisco and I was
People are
thinking,
fake or can be
ex
fake.
exactly. And that's what, you know, social media is. It's a bunch of fake shit. Like, it's just a magazine, I pretty much call it at this point. And
That's a good one.
yeah, I was just thinking about social media, and then I was thinking of the reason why I had it spelled out that way: stupid, old, competition,
I'm gonna write that one
imperfection.
down. Hold on. Social media is a magazine. All right,
Magazine.
I have it
Yep,
written down.
there you go. That's pretty
I
much
don't know
what I
if I could.
reference it to.
I don't know if I can show it. Oh,
Oh, there you
I,
go.
I
It's
need to
kind of
get. I need
there.
to get. I need to. I need to get rid of this blur filter. But yeah, yeah. Anyways, continue on.
Yeah. But yeah, and so I pretty much spelled it out in my head of stupid, old, competition, imperfections, and little misconceptions effortlessly drifting ideas around. And
Mm.
so I broke the letters of social media down in that reference way of like,
Yeah, like S. Dot. O.
oh,
Yeah.
dot, see,
Yeah.
exactly. And I always, whenever I perform that one, I always tell the audience, I'm just like, really listen to this song because it is just, I really thought about the intricacy, my God, I can't say
I
that
know
word.
what you mean.
Yeah, of the whole phrase, because at the end of the day, it is a great thing. And like, if it wasn't for social media, we wouldn't have so many outreaches to so many
I think
places
it's
in the world.
intricities, right? Isn't that how you say it?
Intricity.
Intricities?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I know what you meant. I know what you meant. Like details.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
And like,
I
you feel the comparison's so hard sometimes, and you're like, am I doing the right thing in life? Am I doing this right in my life regardless? And that's why I started off the song with "It takes time," because you just at the end of the day have to trust the process.
yeah, trust the process. Always, have faith and then
Mhm.
hopefully faith mixed with talent, mixed with luck.
Yeah.
You can use that one too if you
That's
want. I
right.
just made that one up. I just made that one up.
Yeah.
You know, FTL,
FTL.
faith, talent, luck. That's
Talent, love.
actually that's actually probably true.
There you go.
Or right place, right time.
That's right. Oh yeah. It builds up to that too.
So this is a question that I've asked a lot of these. I didn't think I was gonna like turn this into a question I'd ask everybody, but I kind of like the responses, and you're probably gonna guess what I ask because I've already mentioned half of it.
Hmm.
Reality TV shows, any
Yeah.
interest in, you know,
You know,
um, Idol or anything like that?
so I did actually audition for American Idol way back in 2015 when it was supposed to be the last one, when they advertised it as, "Oh, this is the last ever Idol," all this type of stuff, and they
You
came to
actually
San
made it through
Francisco.
the pre shit?
Oh no. That's when they had open call at Cow Palace located in San Francisco.
Of
And
course.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to do my hair and makeup, got
Of
there at
course.
3 in the morning with my like folding lawn chair, and sat
Did you
outside of a
pay
long
this makeup
line.
artist? Did you
You're looking
pay?
at her. You're looking at
You
her. She
didn't
did it
you
all
did
herself. She didn't cost a cent at the time. And I waited in that lovely long line and, did all the preparation I could. And I think eventually
paperwork?
oh yeah, paperwork, all that fun stuff. Finally, I think at 11 a.m. or noon, my group was up and I was in a line with three other girls. And it was like number one, number two, number three, number four.
Just line
While
them up.
also, oh yeah, while also everyone else is also doing their own type of performances and groups right next to you. So you're singing, but other people are singing right next to you. So you just have to be so laser
What? That's
focused.
wild.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's that
It
many
was
people
like,
that they can't even give people like
oh
their
yeah.
intimate kind of like. thing?
That's the first audition. And then if they say yes, then you get like through to seeing the judges. But in the first call, it's just open call. So it's like
That's
one,
crazy.
two, three, four, five, six, and everybody's just singing around you, and you have to just
I had
kind of focus
somebody
on
that
yourself.
I had somebody that actually made it, but I don't think she actually like made the TV version. I think she made like the preliminary stuff.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
that's crazy. Did you
yeah.
make it? How far did you make it?
I didn't make it past 10 seconds. I sang all of, I think, a verse, and they were like, thanks. And that was it. And then it was,
Their loss, you
I
know.
left. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's reality television at the end of the day. And that's why I got a glimpse of that. And, like, I mean, power to the people that keep auditioning. And you just got to keep doing it. Like, there was a dude there
Hmm.
who was next to us, next to our group, and he was outstanding. But they just kept telling him, like, next song, next song. He sang like six songs for these
I had
people.
someone that made the voice, and she made it to like the second round, and then I had someone
Crazy.
on that guy ended up getting like screwed. So, you know,
Exactly. It's just whatever the producers at the time want to see. That's what I've gotten the glimpse of. And my some of my music teachers or people I've worked with down the road, they're like, "Why the fuck are you on here?" And I'm just like, "It's reality television. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm just not what they want to see on
it's who
their."
you know, you know.
Oh yeah, that too. Oh yeah.
There's politics.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
how many songs are on this album, Reflections? And
There's a
when did you actually like release it on all your platforms?
I think it was September 29th of 2023. And there's 11 songs, 10 fully over, fully full band, all full production, and then the
The
11th,
whole 9 yards, you
the
know?
whole 9 yards. And then the
I
11th
love
track,
that. I love that one.
yeah, I
Yeah.
did
Go.
the 11th track was, I wanted to do a stripped down acoustic of one of the full band sounding versions of the song Daydream.
So, how many of them, how hard is it to, I guess I'll change the question. How hard is it to make the order? You just throw them together and say, "Hey, I know which ones I want to be the top three or four," and then you put the rest, just kind of throw them together, or they're all like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
meticulously.
I pretty much, how I constructed that album in particular was the start to finish of my growth. So to start
Oh,
off,
that's interesting.
happiness and like, where can we find it? Like, let's just try, like, that's the starter of the album. Like, we
Hmm.
just need to find the little joys in life. And then as deeper you get into the album, it's shows my life of the next songs 5 years ago. If you asked me 5 years ago, I wouldn't be here. And it's like and that song's premise is you can make plans. Sure, good job. Make a plan for your life, make a plan for the next year. But life has its funny ways of being like, ha, you thought we're actually going to go this way. You think you're doing this? No, you're actually going to be going like this. And that's what
Yeah.
5 years ago kind of details of, you never really know what's going to happen in the next year,
So
and the next 2 years, 5 years.
you actually set me up for my next question, and I appreciate
Mm-hmm.
that.
You're welcome.
So we're gonna go back. When did you first start getting like traction on people listening and getting feedback, and like those views just didn't happen like overnight. There had to be
Oh
some sort of
no.
effort. So when did you first start getting like responses and gigs? Because I know you tour, right? You're doing a Reflections tour. So when
Yeah.
did I mean, and obviously years of hard work. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but like how did it all come together, like the traction?
I think uh, definitely in the past 2 years, it really came like floodgates. It was just, I wasn't really getting any traction. Like, I would put myself out there, but like, it wasn't really going anywhere. And then I would just post and
Somebody saw you or something and was like, "No?"
yeah. I mean, yeah, it was just like people, I would perform somewhere and then all of a sudden they would, or somebody random would just start sharing my stuff and be like, whoa, like,
Oh,
this is
TikTok and
incredible.
like
Yeah, like Instagram, all that type of stuff. And or I'd sometimes perform live at places and then they were like, "Holy shit."
Holy
Like,
shit. Yeah, her vocals are
yeah.
freaking crazy.
Yeah. So, and then it was
Who's
like
this chick? And then
kind of game
invite
change
her back. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, and it just it built a lot of, you just have to have the confidence. And that doesn't come out of nowhere, obviously. And like we were talking about earlier, you have to be you're your biggest critic, but you also have to be your biggest cheerleader. And at a certain point, I went to that side and I was just like, I have to start selling myself in the way
So
that
you were
other
just
people
going
see me.
you're just going to random bars until you, like you mentioned that earlier, but that was literally it. Somebody saw you and thought your music was good. Either they saw you at one of these places, or they saw your like social media post or something,
Yeah.
and then you start getting calls from people asking you to perform
Oh
like at
yeah.
their bars and stuff.
Yeah, I'd get emails, and
Emails, I love it.
emails, gotta love it, DMs of like, oh, like, we'd love to have you, we'd love to do an interview with you, we'd love to write about you, like, we'd love to this, that. And it was just like, whoa, like, it kind of just came out of
Where
nowhere. It
this
was
shit,
like,
and then you're like,
yeah,
oh well, I need to get compensated for this. If all
yeah,
this is
yeah,
happening,
yeah.
then these like $1,000 houses or rents or whatever. I guess it's
Oh
probably
yeah,
2,000 in California.
it's
They can't pay
egregious.
themselves, these house
No,
fees.
absolutely not.
So then did you start asking for, did you start like saying, asking to get like a compensation fee, or did they, you know what I'm saying? Like, did they
Oh
say, hey, we'll
yeah,
pay you to
no,
do this, or
they offered a lot. I didn't even have to ask a lot of the time. They offered. They were straight off the bat like,
it's crazy.
yeah, it was just, it kind of
Hey,
happened in the blink of an
we'll
eye.
offer you this for your appearance,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been an awesome journey, honestly, so
How many
far. And
songs
like,
do you do on this tour? Like, how many are you doing, the whole album? Are you doing
oh yeah,
like,
I do like pretty much, I 11, 12 songs. I throw in some covers of, like, I do Misery Business by Paramore.
oh,
Um
I'm glad that you mentioned that because I saw
mhm.
an old cover of yours.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a big Haley
Yeah,
Williams.
she's the shit.
You
Yeah.
also did Ain't It Fun, I think.
Yep. Yep.
Which that is one of my favorite songs
Mhm.
by her. So when I saw that, and you also did a, don't tell me the other cover you did. You did another one. No, don't say it. Don't say it. Give me like 1 second. It's not Paramore. It's all right. What's the other one you did? It's kind of like older. It's
Valerie?
also, no, it's like an older song, kind
Oh,
of.
Hit Me With Your Best Shot?
Yeah, yeah, that one.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
saw that one
By
too.
Pat Benatar. Yep. Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Were those just random picks or people that you like are inspired?
Oh, I very much inspired, and I just love. I remember I I used to play Guitar Hero, and so that was one of the songs I
Who
used to
didn't?
love,
Everyone loved that.
right? And I
I
used
mean,
to
I
love
didn't play it
playing
that
that
much because I
song.
wasn't good, but
Yeah.
I played it at a couple house parties.
There you go. It's a house party trick. That's all you got to do. And I remember,
Yeah, put
I
that
think
shit
it,
on the TV,
yeah,
get
exactly.
it projected to the
Yep.
old ass, like the original LED TVs, the ones that like fall apart.
That's right. Yeah.
You ever do that? Just put games to put them on the big TV in the living room.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And sometimes it's so pixelated and you're like, this is shit.
It's like Nintendo type shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
So
Yeah.
Pat Benatar. So talk about, how did you pick that song?
So I loved it as a child. And then when I was starting to do my gigs and stuff, I would find either songs or people that I looked up to that had same vocal range as me. And since I have quite the wide range, I was like, "Oh, let me try this song." And so I sang it karaoke at home one day and I was like, "Okay, like I this song hits and I know that it's kind of a classic for a lot of people." So
Mm.
that's when I just
Dun, dun,
and I
dun, dun,
always
dun, dun.
put it on the map. Mhm.
I did
Mhm.
that. Everyone knows that one.
Exactly. And then after Olivia Rodrigo came out with Sour and Good for You came out, that's when I remember someone did a medley of Good for You and Misery Business. And I had completely forgotten about Misery Business. And we did it one time at a gig, and I was like, I actually just love doing Misery Business because the second that starts,
Yeah,
people just
yeah,
go
yeah.
fucking nuts. People
Nuts.
go nuts. And it's just so like I'm going crazy on stage, and we're all going crazy, and you're going crazy, and everyone's just like in this euphoric state of just like,
It's same thing with
amazing
like all
energy.
that like 2000s, 2010s, like a lot of that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like Blink 182, same thing. People go nuts for like rock
Yeah,
show and
yeah,
like and shit.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's and then when you did Misery Business, you're like, oh, Ain't It Fun's another song that I like. And then you were like,
Oh
oh, yeah,
yeah.
I'll do that.
And Still Into You, just like the three big iconic ones.
Haley Williams, yeah, she's still putting out
She's
music,
still
right?
rocking it. Oh yeah, she's still rocking it. She still shows up on my feed and I'm like, you're iconic, just iconic.
Yeah. Who are your I'm gonna give you the cookie cutter kind of softball question. Who are the
Mhm.
influences? Like not recent influences. You told me about some of the older ones.
Mhm.
What kind of stuff out now are you like into?
I would say I through and through whether it's from years ago till now, Celine Dion, Always and Forever
She was at
is
the
a
Olympics
huge she was
last
at
night.
the Mhm. That was a beautiful performance. Beautiful performance. Christina Perry, love through and through. Adele, as always. And I would still stick with Paramore. I mean, they're just still iconic.
Yeah. What about Lady Gaga?
Oh,
Who was
yeah.
also
I
there?
mean, yeah, Lady Gaga
Who
in
was
and of
also
herself
there?
is,
I was
yeah,
surprised. I think the announcer is fake surprised. Did you actually watch
yeah,
Kelly Clarkson? She was like, "Oh," I'm like, "You knew
no,
about that?"
yeah.
Like,
Everyone knew she was going to be there.
yeah,
Everyone knew. They already announced it.
the fake, yeah, like the fake
Yeah,
surprise shit. And it's like
exactly.
Kelly Clarkson. I don't know if you watched the whole thing, but do you remember when the metal music came on?
Mhm.
She was like
Mhm.
metal, and then the other guy was like, "Are you trying to hate on metal right now? Like, are you saying that I'm not allowed to mix?" Like,
I
I'm like,
know. Like,
that's funny.
let it be. It's fine.
Yeah. No, I'm a metalhead at heart, like rocker at heart.
Nice. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I power to the metal people. I just can't do it.
Not
I'm
like super metal, but
farthest.
like
Yeah.
alternative, kind of hard rock, not like not
Yeah.
screamo, but like hard
Yeah.
rock.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For sure. I'm on that page.
But not the screamo
Yeah.
shit.
The screamo shit, I'm just like, I appreciate all music, but that's just not my cup of tea.
That's on the edge of unappreciation. Still on the
Yeah.
appreciation, but it's way up
It's
there. I get what you're saying. I'm just joking.
yeah. No, you're good.
Um, where can people find your music?
Music's everywhere on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, SoundCloud, YouTube Music, all that fun stuff.
Now, some people are
Um,
bringing back CDs. Do you
oh
have
yeah,
this reflection in CD form?
I do have reflections in
I
CD
believe in
form.
this. What old is new again. Do you believe in that?
Yes. Oh yeah.
It's
Everyone
like
loves a classic.
so I was a substitute teacher for a while. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm the cool sub, you know?
Oh
Well,
yeah,
I would like
for
to think
sure.
you could tell I was probably the cool sub,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was like these kids started bringing in Stanley water bottles
Mm-hmm.
because during the pandemic they couldn't use the water faucet.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
subbed during the pandemic I had to wear a mask for like $90 a day. Like it was
Damn.
ridiculous. I had no job. I had to pay
Yikes.
yeah, I was struggling out there.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so these kids would like bring in Stanley water bottles and I'm like, dude, only if you knew. Like I did that one time, like during recess or something. I went on Google and showed them like the 1970s. I'm like, dude, this was like, they're like, oh, this is new. I'm like, dude, bet, as the
No.
kid
Yeah,
said. Like one,
bet. That's
like,
right.
one Google download. Look at this, like
Mm-hmm.
8-year-old.
Right?
He was like,
Yeah.
oh. It's
Funny.
like, it's like, what is that like? Like
Yeah.
Canva, or did you put that
Oh
shit?
yeah.
Did you? That's
Everyone
funny
thinks
though.
they're original.
But
Everyone
yeah,
thinks they're original.
yeah, it's like no, that shit back in the day. Like,
Oh
so
yeah.
you do have it on CD. You do have it on
I do have
CD.
CDs. Hope to do vinyls someday, but vinyls are a little
Really?
bit more
That's even
pricier.
yeah,
That one's a little bit
yeah.
more of a dip in the pocket. So I would love to have a vinyl. I love
So
vinyls.
are you full time on this thing?
I pretty much, yeah, I have a day job, but pretty much full time as far as,
Are you gonna take the ultimate risk? No,
oh yeah,
your employer's not listening. Are you
yeah, yeah.
gonna are you gonna go like 100? Are you gonna go 100% like eventually, or
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's a move soon to be determined, but I won't
I don't
say
want to get you fired.
fully.
You'd be like
Yeah.
your
No,
boss would
you're
be like, I heard you say on this podcast that you were gonna leave soon.
no, you're
Get the fuck out. Because everyone has a boss. Everybody.
oh yeah, everybody has a boss.
No, it's
So
true.
come up.
Even CEOs
Oh
have
yeah.
bosses. The
Oh yeah.
bosses are usually the IRS, or like,
That's right.
or
Yeah. The non-visual bosses, to say the least.
no, I'm just kidding. My sense of humor. Thanks for laughing at my sense of humor.
No,
I know
you're
my
good.
sense of humor is bad. So I appreciate you laughing at my bad jokes. But no, this has been fun. Thank you
Oh
so much for
yeah.
doing this. Website, where can people find the CDs if they want to get one?
Yeah. On my website, everything is under Hey, it's Libba. I tried to make it as simple as possible. So you can find me anywhere on Hey, it's Libba, heyitslibba.com, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whichever one works for you.
Are you gonna copyright it?
Yeah.
Or soon?
Soon.
That's
That's
with
on
the
the
vinyl.
agenda.
That's with the
Yeah.
vinyl. That's with the 100%
Coming up maybe a
dive.
holiday near you.
Okay, and like 5 shots in, it's like, all
That's
right, I'm
right.
gonna do
Yeah.
it now. I'm gonna do it
Yeah.
now. Five vodkas deep. I'm gonna do it. Vodka sodas. I'm gonna do it.
That's right. Proud sponsor. Proud sponsor.
Or like 3 glasses of wine in. Are you a wine
Exactly.
person?
Oh yeah. Very much
Red,
so.
white, like what's
I
your
used to love
wine
whites a
type?
lot, but now my palate's changed
Was
to
it
more of a red.
Zinfandel? Is that what it is?
I'm more of a Pinot Noir.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not. That's the only one I know. Like my
Zinfandel's
my
quite red and dark and
what
heavy.
my wine you know is not very my wine library terms not very good.
I'm from California, so I kind of, and especially I went to school at Sonoma
Are
County,
you like
so
into like the grapes and like when's the best season for the all that? No,
I
you're
love
not
drinking
into
them.
it. Hey, there's an art though.
Oh yeah, that's power to them. It's not for me.
Like I
I
know the Bella twins, former like I don't know if you know who the Bella twins are, but I know they got
yeah,
real into it in California.
yep.
Or I guess they're the Garcia twins now. But like but yeah, I know they got real big into it, and then like rich people will just go in there on the side. Like
Oh
The
yeah.
Rock probably has one.
Oh yeah. They have their own configurations of wine specialties and all that
It's
stuff
something that rich people dive into,
for sure. They got the money
you
for
know.
it. It's a
Social
hobby for
media, you
them.
said everything's hey,
Hey, it's
it's
Libba.
Libba.
That's yep. So you can find me on all social
Are you
media
on
platforms.
Instagram, X, all of them?
I'm
TikTok?
on Instagram, X, TikTok, Facebook. I'm gonna be doing a Patreon soon, so that'll be coming soon.
You know what I hear is next, Libba?
Huh.
Actually, it's here already, but I hear it's getting steam. Twitch. Artists are actually
Oh,
putting
okay.
yeah, artists are trying to give you ideas, Artists are
Okay.
actually streaming their like songs on Twitch.
Dope.
It's
Okay.
it's no
I'll have to
longer
check that
just
out.
it's no longer a gaming. Well, I mean it is a gaming thing.
Yeah,
Most
yeah,
people,
yeah.
but some musicians are putting their songs on Twitch.
Okay.
I didn't know
Great.
that either. Like I
I
didn't
would
know
have
that
never
either.
guessed that.
Um but I appreciate you coming on, and it's been over an hour, so thank you.
Wow, that time flew by. Thank
It
you so
did.
much for
It
having
did.
me.
Anything to promote? Anything coming up? Any tour stop or
Just currently writing right now. There'll be potentially some things coming up in the future, but who knows? I haven't really decided yet. Just trying to embrace the album and
just
let it
follow
grow.
you and
Yeah. Listen to that
buy the album.
album. That's right.
Listen slash buy
That's
both.
right. Yeah.
All right.
Support fellow indie artists.
Yes, do it. That's why I try. That's what I do on here.
And we appreciate you for it.
I'm doing the Lord's work.
That's right. You're doing your part.
All right. All right. Have a good one. Thanks again.
Thanks so much.
All right. Bye.